Now, back to WFO Radio, NHRA Nitro.
WFO, here we go with the top fuel winner at the AAA Insurance Midwest Nationals, Billy Torrence. Queued up. We're going to hear from Billy just moments from now here on WFO Radio Podcast. If you're a first-time listener, hopefully you will click subscribe, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher. Download the WFO Radio mobile app. It is free. Check it out, WFO Radio. Everywhere we got the Ignition Show. We're going to hear from Sean Langdon, Erica Enders, Karen Stouffer. Of course, Alan Reinhart is in the feed. The archive is loaded. You can go to the website. It's all there. Thanks to these great sponsors, samtech.edu, the School of Automotive Machinists and Technology. Start your education at full speed with samtech.edu. Accelerate your career as a high-performance engine builder with classroom instruction and practical hands-on experience in the lab, on the dyno, and at the track. They got blockhead and CNC programs. They got motorsport EFI tuning, and they're military-friendly, approved to train veterans under the GI Bill. samtech.edu. Total Seal, piston rings. The leader in ring seal technology, Total Seal, has got the rings to fit your pistons. They've also got great tools for the job as well. Motorcycles, Pro Mod, NASCAR, IndyCar, Stock Eliminator, Pro Stock. They do it all. Total Seal. Hit them up. If you're an engine builder, you should definitely be using Total Seal piston rings. MagicDryUS.com, the official organic absorbent of the NHRA. 560% of its weight. It can soak up any viscosity. It's made of coconut, and by the way, it travels light. It weighs less than clay-style absorbents. That's why Magic Dry US is the official organic absorbent of the National Hot Rod Association. It was so great to see Scott Palmer back out there. Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School, the Dragster Adventure. Drive a car 130 miles per hour, 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. Rear engine, big block powered dragster. They can even set up a race, and it makes a great gift for the holidays. Go to frankhawley.com. Drive a dragster. Why wouldn't you want to be like Billy Torrence? Just a little bit slower. Rodak's coffeeandgrills.com. Marvin Rodak. Hot sauces and spice rubs, but it's the coffee that gets the job done. Gourmet coffee, roasted, fresh per your order. Check him out, Marvin Rodak. Hit the website. Give him a call, 817-924-6821. That's rodaxcoffeeandgrills.com. Not to mention Drag Racing Edge Magazine, EV3 Drag Racing, and everybody else who helps support WFO Radio. Thank you so much. And when you need these guys, you might not need them right now. The holidays, you're going to need Marvin Rodak and Frank Hawley. When you get desperate for those friends, you're going to be like, man, that was a good idea. Total Seal, Magic Try, everybody that supports WFO, thank you so much. All right, let's get into it. Joining us now, he was the top fuel winner out there at the AAA Insurance NHRA Midwest Nationals, and he beat his kid in the final round. Joining us now, Billy Torrence. Billy, welcome back.
Hey, Joe. Glad to be here, man. How are you?
I am great. I had a great time at the track, watching everybody. Great racing, close racing, playoff atmosphere. Watching you go to the final round, you and Steve, that was a lot of fun, too. I bet I didn't have as much fun as you guys did, though.
Well, I tell you what, to get out there and have an all CAPCO final and really put on the show for the whole bunch up there in St. Louis and all the CAPCO boys and the pipelines and road force across the country. I mean, that's special.
Well, I hope a lot of those people are listening to this right now, because I was talking to Alan Reinhart this week about, let's take a second to put the driving aside, right? The Billy Torrence personality, character, star driver guy, the guy that interacts with the fans, the guy that does interviews. You have taken to it so well, and creating your own character, your own personality, hard-working, hands-dirty American who goes out and drag races for fun with his family. Very relatable. You're doing a great job with the interviews. It's like you've really warmed up to it and embraced that side of the sport. Tell me a little bit about why.
I guess I've just gotten more comfortable. You guys, you and Alan and Amanda and the folks that talk to me day in and day out, I've just gotten comfortable talking to you guys. And I just try to illustrate what's going on with our team and, in our life. And I guess it's interesting. We're just old working folks that get out there and drag race with our family, just like you said, and we're actually having a lot of fun.
No, it's great. It's great to see. It's unique. Everybody works hard, of course, but in different ways, and you represent the style of work that you guys do very, very well. Take me back to Reading, where both CAPCO cars lost first round. That was a big moment there because, sometimes, it's easy to dominate and it's easy to lead, and then things go wrong, and, sometimes there's finger pointing and all that, and you guys showed that you are cut from the championship cloth, the CAPCO team, because you guys were able to rally back immediately and go out there and both make the final round. But take me back to Reading and how you guys handled that tough race.
Reading that was the first time this year that both cars had been out early. Steve went out at Phoenix early this year, and I won the race. And I think I had gone out at Houston first round with the throttle stop issue deal, and Steve won the race. So it was something we weren't really prepared for, but actually preparation might have been the culprit there, because for weeks, Steve had been so far ahead of the whole group, 30 rounds ahead of the number 2 car. And they had, gotten off on testing and trying different combinations and kind of gotten away from what their dominant setup was. But, just trying stuff for next year and all. And we show up to Reading and get into some ultimate track conditions and weather conditions, and the parts and pieces that we had put together as an alternative to what we'd run before, we just were not prepared and got behind there in qualifying, and just did not do a representative job. But when we left there, we put our mind in the right spot and put our cars back like they were, we just started dancing with the gals that brought us, and we put our cars back like they were supposed to be. And look what happens. We're qualified in the top half and go both cars to the final.
Yes, well, exactly. And let's talk about that's great to hear. And it makes me worry for the field next year that you guys had so much time to test new stuff and different stuff. But let's start off with round 1. You're the number 2 qualifier, and Kyle Wurtzel, nobody to take lightly. He's out here trying to advance his program. You run a 379.3 and go to the second round of racing. Talk a little bit about getting ready for first round. Most racers will tell you that's the one that they are most nervous for.
Yeah, I mean, we'd had a good car, but that team over there, they don't come out often. They always come out. They always qualify. They run representative good times for how they run their program. And no one to take lightly. I mean, there's 16 cars out there, and at any time, any one of them can dole out a good whipping for you. So we wanted to race safe. We had manipulated the ladder. Whenever we wanted wherever the qualifying was, we could have stepped up and probably went to the pole the last hit. But when Steve moved up, that put us on the opposite side of the ladder, so we stand pat, and so we were right where we wanted to be. The best option would have had to buy, but we had to take that guy seriously, and we ran a safe lap, but he was right there.
Yes, and that sets up a great round 2 matchup, an important round 2 matchup, and let's talk about like the role of your team, because Jake McCullough said we're here as a support mechanism for Steve. We try stuff and we take out the competition until you guys race each other in the final round, and then it's game on for everybody. And so here you're facing a massive round 2 against Doug Coletta, the points leader. If he beats you, then you haven't done your job, and I know you knew that. I felt the drama as you guys sat under the tower. I know a lot of people were staring at the cars thinking it too, and you guys got the job done. You left with Doug. That's always a challenge, and you outran him to knock down the points leader.
Doug Coletta is a class act guy. I mean, just top notch, one of the best drivers ever. I mean, that operation over there, anybody that knows anything about it, the whole deal. I mean, that's the real deal right there. Good teams, good guys. we enjoy the camaraderie with them, off track and on track. We're always going to be out there and doing all we can do. I mean, I think that they've been a tremendous competitor. I knew that it was going to be my job to further the A team, and I went out there. I knew I had qualified well. I had a good car, as did they, and I knew I would need to do a good job to get off the line and run with Doug. And we had a bit of a lucky round there. We were running substantially quicker, and the thing started spinning the tires down there around 900 feet and threw the belt off of it. So we actually coasted to a victory, and my heart was in my throat by the time I got there. I'm like, come on. And so it was. It really looked better than it was.
Wow, that is amazing, and that brings me to this point. Early in the year, like going back to Phoenix, right? When we would have conversations, you would. It would sound like you're still feeling like you're learning and you're sorting it out and you're kind of gaining experience, and you even referred to yourself as the weak link on the team at times as you were, ramping up your runs. And everybody says you got to get to 100 runs in a top fueler before you've even really, done anything, before things start to slow down. But I don't hear that a lot out of you now. You've made a lot more runs, you've won a lot more races, and you get to the point where you feel the blower belt and you're coasting and you get that feeling. It seems to me that things might have slowed down for you to the point where you feel comfortable. Are you there, Billy? Do you feel comfortable now?
Yes, I'm substantially more comfortable than ever, Joe. But I will tell you, people ask me about, how's that thing to drive, and I got to tell you, it's borderline terrifying. I mean, that's that's that thing. You're in a fire breathing monster right there, and I don't know. These guys that do it week in and week out, I'm sure they're a little more comfortable at it, but you can't become complacent. You got to be very respectful of what's going on and be on your toes, where that thing puts a hole out. But make no mistake, Joe, I am the weak link over there. I showed that in Brainerd this year. I flinched and had a car that would outrun everybody at the place by a mile and let my whole group down. So I haven't lived that down, but I have gotten better, and we've had, those guys have made me look good.
Well, you continue to get better and better and better, and I wonder where the ceiling is for you, if there is even one, as indicated by what you did this weekend. Semifinals, you go up against Leah. Leah is a lever very often, and intense desire to go out there and compete in the countdown, but she's a rival, and this is exactly your job, and you were able to beat her. This time it was a nice combination, you and the team. 76-9, got to the stripe first. She went up in smoke, maybe a little intimidation, or certainly knowing that they had to step up, and that set up your half of the final round. Meanwhile, other side of the ladder, Steve takes down one of his greatest rivals, Mike Salinas, Alan Johnson, with a 80. And that sets up the all CAPCO final round, which we know, the team has won, and it's just a decision between father and son who's going to win the race. So tell me about before the final. The team has won. The family has won. But now it's you and your boy. You got to decide it between yourselves.
Well, I tell you what, Joe, that is top of the world right there for me. I could have went on home right then. And, to get both the CAPCO cars in the final, the only family-run race team out there. And, we were at, it's just a shame that they didn't have two trophies, because we could have picked them up and gone on home. But, I knew it was going to be a tough round, because the 80 that Steve ran, he had a hole out too, so he was also on another 75 or 6. And it was so I know what we run the cars basically identical. So we ran 76. They had a 76 bullet in there, and you knew they put a hole out and slowed down. But, Steve's 50, 60 at the tree. It's going to be difficult to deal with that in those hot conditions anyway. But, so we eased around there, tried to intimidate them a little bit, but, I think it worked. But we were all amped up for the final, and I'm just glad to put on a good show.
And this is something that you covered in our media center interview, which was fun, because everybody likes the idea of, Steve is an outgoing personality. He'll tell you what he thinks, and that's great. And that's not limited to, people who aren't in his family. That includes you as well. And you guys go back and forth. Which I think is interesting and fun and funny. Obviously, you've got the father-son love and respect going on, but you don't pull punches with each other. You guys go all out verbally, with little attacks and taunts. And what did he tell you? It was going to be old man abuse or something?
Old people abuse. That's I told him he had the easy part done. All the jaw jacking.
Yes.
Yeah, Steve and I, so I'm relatively, I'm 61 years old and Steve's 36, so I was relatively young whenever we were blessed to have Steve, and he and I've matured about the same rate he has, so we've grown up together and we've raced everything together and grown up like two brothers. And I mean, we work together every day. I was we were going through a 401k audit here, and, they had to get Steve's, he's been an employee here since he was 10 or 12 years old. He filled out his employment packet and gave me as a reference and said he'd been acquainted with me for 12 years. So, I mean, we're locked at the hip, and we do carry on a lot. But I tell you what, man, when we get out there to race, we fully intend to outrun that other one.
And not everybody believed that. And that was very interesting as I went around. We got an hour or so, 45 minutes. You guys are working on the cars. And so I do my job and I hear conversations, right? People will say, who do you think's going to win? What do you think's going to happen? Those kind of conversations. I know you're aware. And I encountered, several different people along the way. And nobody thought that Billy Torrence was going to win the race because of some sort of orchestration. And I was like, unsure, because there have been several times in the past you tried to ruin the perfect countdown, came up a couple of thou short on that you have never really laid down as has been done in the past or thought about in the past. And here, perfect example. You guys went out there, you put down a solid pass, and he was unable to beat you.
Joe, I mean, I don't know where these naysayers come from, because if you'll look at all the races, Steve, I think we're 6 or 7-2 right now. At one time, the 3 races in a row that he had beaten me, if you added the margin of victory up, it was less than 200s combined total. I mean, it's not like you can finesse these cars and go down there like Super Comp and tap the brake and dump or something. I mean, this thing, I don't know. You're gonna get people gonna talk. And but we get out there and we do the best we can, and we're our own sponsor. So we have 400 employees, and there's probably about 311 of them for Steve, and the 89 for me. But so we're back, and the old guys root for me. So it's a rivalry right here within the company. I mean, you couldn't believe the abuse that the old people take here. They wear you out here, man. I get a text from my head safety guy, a guy named Todd Stewart, a former Super Gas world champion. I mean, there's racers all throughout the outfit here, and he says he sends me a text every Sunday. He goes, "Good luck, kick butt, and for Christ's sakes, don't embarrass the company." I mean, we got that's the kind of deal we got going on here. So I don't know. We're out there having fun, and I'm gonna tell you, for the people that say you have to lay down for Steve, I think he was 630 rounds ahead of the competitors. Ask those other 14 guys, what are they laying down?
Right, exactly. Why did everybody lay down and let Steve get a 600-point lead? Right, he's
whatever
tough.
The deal is, I need some of it. I could use some. But I mean, the guys, 26, 28 races or whatever it is they've won over the last 3 years. I mean, heck, I don't think you have to lay down. Those guys are tough.
Yeah. They put you down. It's not laying down. They put you down. And that has been the case. But I want to bring that up. I like going right into the controversy so that people, hopefully move beyond it and realize what's going on out there. Point standings, you're still 9th, but you're only 80 points out of the lead now. And so you got 8 guys in front of you where you want to be. But you're in this. You're in the middle of it. There's 4 races to go. You got anything can happen. You can go out there and win. We've seen the CAPCO team win 6 in a row in the past. Maybe it's your CAPCO team. Like, who knows? It would be 5. Like, who knows what could happen? But, like, how are you approaching these next few races? Like, how are you approaching this whole countdown situation? You're on the opposite end of it than Steve is. You've got to make up some ground.
Well, the first thing I'll do is I'm going to get back to practicing on my practice tree, because I don't know if you noticed or not, Joe, but I am old and I need to practice. I didn't look good. It must have just been blessed, a blessing for me to win, because my lights were all over the place, but I had a really good hot rod. But, I'll just get out there and do the best I can. It would be a dream come true to finish, a family race team, to finish 1 and 2. I think I'll be a formidable foe for anybody out there. And, I'm just going to approach it like that, and we'll just go and do the best we can. Steve will stand on his own, and I anticipate that he'll probably win them all. He usually does, but I'll just, maybe I can bring up the rear.
Well, exactly. And that's why this is entertainment. This is fun to watch, just the way it's all playing out. There's a lot of others right in the middle of it, and they're going to be battling it out too, and who knows what they've got to say about this situation. But on this given weekend, it was all CAPCO, final round. Billy, thank you so much for coming on the show, and I know Mama Kay was super happy. Steve, probably a little less happy, but still happy nonetheless. And don't you guys have a tradition? What is your tradition?
Steve and I held that tradition up. We go every time either one of us wins. We go over to a Mexican food restaurant in Tyler, Texas, and we were over there, and those people were already anticipating that we'd be there, had us set up with tea and everything as soon as we walked in the door. And we were glad to get back over there because we hadn't won enough. I didn't think I was going to get any Mexican food for a while.
Wow. And who does if you guys run each other in the final round, didn't somebody ask you in the media center who pays, right? It was like, does the loser pay? How does that work?
Well, no, I think I usually pay. Steve, he'll drag up there and pay every now and then. But, he that's part of that old deal, man. You know how it is, Joe. It's just
Dad's got to provide, man.
Abuse.
You're the dad.
Just taking the abuse, man.
I like it.
It's the Mama K race team. I call it the them and me race team. But, we were all happy, and it was a nice ride home. And to have both cars rebound well and, everything went well. We'll just continue to have fun and hopefully the chips will fall and it'll be another great year for us.
There you go. Billy, thank you very much for making the time for us here on WFO Radio Podcast. Really appreciate it. Love how you are, getting comfortable because you have a different character and personality than everybody out there. And it's not, better or worse. It's just different. And you represent a lot of hardworking people out there. And I can see them, wanting to be a fan of yours. And so the more you win, the more you're going to get out there. And I think the more fans of drag racing are going to come along. Congratulations on your victory. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you, Joe. How about them old CAPCO boys? Thank you, buddy.
How about it? Thank you, Billy. Billy Torrence with us here on WFO Radio. When they made the final round, I said the Empire strikes back. And they're not evil, but they are an empire. They went out there, lost first round, first race, made the final second race, and now kind of back to neutral. And, Billy doing a great job with his interviews. Billy doing a great job leading that team. Whole lot of fun. Just watching it all play out. Who's going to win it all? That is the question. Thanks to Billy for coming on the show. And, hey, if you're out there, all the pipeliners that were logging on to hear Billy for this one time, right? Click subscribe. We got a lot of stuff going on. You're going to hear from Steve on here from time to time. In fact, last year, the whole countdown was all Steve Torrence. It was really cool. Got to really get to know Steve and that team and family. They do a great job. And Phil Laganas, Jason McCullough, and so many nice people on that team. Thanks to Billy for coming on the show. And we've got more interviews coming on WFO Radio. The archive is loaded. Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Just click subscribe and you'll be notified when there's something new. Erica Enders, Karen Stouffer, and more. All coming up on WFO Radio. Once again, samtech.edu, Rodax, coffeeandgrills.com, Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School, MagicDryUS.com, and Total Seal Piston Rings, the leader in ring seal technology, making it all possible for WFO to happen each week and for us to do these shows. If you get the opportunity, hit them up, check them out, and we really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. We'll be back with more WFO coming soon.
WFO! The views and opinions of the hosts, guests, or callers do not necessarily reflect that of the station ownership, advertisers, or agencies.
I love WFO radio.
Oh, yeah.
Your education. What are you going to do with your life? That is what it's all about. And samtech.edu can help you figure it all out. The School of Automotive Machinists and Technology always says start your education at full speed because they will get you in, get you started, get you learning rapidly. The school is located in the Houston, Texas area. They've got a great campus. They're always expanding. But most importantly, their relationships within the performance industry is what sets them apart. We're talking about block programs, head programs, CNC programs, motorsport EFI tuning, all part of Samtech. They can even help persons that are eligible under the GI Bill. Go to the website, samtech.edu, or call 713-683-3817. Would you rather do something you love as your job? I know I would. samtech.edu. We're talking gourmet coffee. We're talking hot sauces. We're talking spice rubs. We're talking everything good at RodakCoffeeandGrills.com. Marvin Rodak, been doing it since the 70s. Figured out that life is better with great coffee. And oh, he's so right. 817-924-6821. Call Marvin. He'll roast up some coffee fresh for you. Throw in some hot sauce, some spice rub, and you will be loving it. Hit him up, RodakCoffeeandGrills.com. The one thing that top drag racing teams agree on is Hangstifers.com. Hangstifers metalworking lubricants are going to make you more efficient in the machine shop. It's going to save your tools, it's going to improve your surface quality, and it's going to make you quicker and more efficient. Go to Hangstifers.com to find out more information. Hangstifers metalworking lubricants since 1937.
WFO Radio is brought to you in part by Extreme Velocity 3 Drag Racing. Download for your mobile device. Win your way on the show. WFO.
This is WFO Radio.